Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who give you the widest choice of cereals in the whole wide world. All the great grains in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of television and the theater, who will open on Broadway this Tuesday night, starring in the comedy Once More with Feeling, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now a gentleman I have come to know very well through the years, my husband, Martin Gabel.
And on my left, one of the most charming women in America, starring this Wednesday night on this network in the United States Steel Hour, my old friend, Miss Faye Emerson.
Thank you. Filling in for your gal, that smart gal, Dorothy Kilgallen, who we hope will be feeling well enough to be back with you again next week. At any rate, it gives me another chance to sit beside that distinguished publisher and traveler and columnist, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Okay. When I was at the University of Alabama the other night, Tuscaloosa, at the end of the lecture, a lovely Southern girl came up to me and said, I want you to know that John Daly is the biggest cutie pie on television. So here, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, is the biggest cutie pie in television, John Charles Daly.
I'm appalled when I think what they normally do to pies, but then... Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line. It's nice to have Miss Faye Emerson and Martin Gabel, who has a great chore on his hands this week as a producer of the play, which will open on Tuesday night with us. But it doesn't in any way change our goal, which is to make the panel have a rough half hour, and I think we're going to do it tonight. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the show, and we'll meet our first challenger after... And now let's meet our first challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Cora, Jean, Bronk, Emma, right? Now, is it Miss or Mrs. Bronk?
Miss.
Miss Bronkema. And where are you from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. Well, that's fine. Nice to have somebody from the Midwest in here to sample our wonderful Indian summer. Miss Bronkema, the panel. Miss Bronkema, will you join me over here, please? Now, tell me, do you know how we keep score?
A little.
A little? Well, it's very simple, actually. Every time you can properly give the panel a no answer, we flip a card, 10 of those flips, and you've won the game. And the panel is then covered with confusion, and they look splendid when they're covered with confusion. Now, let's let everybody in the theater, in the audience, and the folks who are looking at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we will tell you that Miss Bronkema is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Martin Gabel.
Miss Bronkema, is there a product connected with what you do?
Yes, there is.
Considering that I have a wide range of interests, is it something I might use?
Yes.
Is it something that is more likely to be purchased by men than women?
Not necessarily.
I would, with your permission, say that the indications of my brief experience in this area might justify the premise that there could be a few more men who would purchase this particular product than women, although it is accessible to both sexes, and I dare say both sexes are interested in the purchase thereof. But with your permission, we'll let Mr. Gabel continue.
John, if I may fight my way through the dense jungle of your rhetoric, I'm getting a yes, is that it?
Well, you're getting a yes with some qualifications added there, too.
Is it something that is visible
Yes, it is.
in its use?
Yes.
Is it something that is worn?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Emerson.
If it's not something that's worn, is it something that is used around the home? Or could be used around the home? Yes. Would it be used in any particular part of the home?
Now, that can't be answered yes or no,
Oh.
Miss Faye. You'll have to...
Oh, dear. Let's try and find the size of it. Would it be something I could hold in my hand? Yes. Would I be likely to hold it in my hand?
Yes.
It's dubious, Daly. Is it a useful product?
I would say that in all proper understanding of the common usage of the word useful and the applications made with that word in normal everyday life, no. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Bronkema, could this product of yours be consumed in any way?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it decorative, Miss Bronkema?
Well, I think if you're agreeable, we will admit that under certain circumstances it could be considered decorative.
Would it be seen more in one part of the home than another?
Depends on what kind of a home you're running. But
First class, John.
That's how that question
Yes.
yeah, I would say this. Again, you stop me, because I'm in an area about which I am not very expert. I would say that if you were to put this product to use in the home, it is likely that its use would be more familiar to one part of the house or one element of the house than another, yes.
I see.
Okay.
Could it be used in other places than the home?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And if you were to go into the home, it is not something that you would put in a closet. You would be able to see it in the home. Is that correct?
Well, now, you mean it all, if you walked into the house and it was there just as a normal proceeding of entering the house, you would see the object. Is that what you have in mind?
No. What I mean, John, is if you were to come into a house that had this product, whatever it is, there would be no reason for the hostess to race to hide it.
I think that actually Mrs. Bronkema has not necessarily was the answer that she wanted to give on that.
On the other hand, it is not something that would ordinarily be left lying around loose.
It's not
Making it
something
very
that would
hard
just
for
be
John
left
now.
I just want to
lying
know
around
whether it's
loose.
what?
It wouldn't be something left in a well-run house. You wouldn't
You wouldn't
certainly
have it
let
just
lie
lying around on the
loose.
floor.
No.
Miss Bronkema, is it a solid?
Yes.
Does it have any moving parts?
No.
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Was it established that it is decorative?
Well,
Say-
under rather tenuous circumstances, we might consider that it could
But it
be
is not
decorative.
strictly useful in the functional sense. That's not its central value.
It would not, in the normal terms of day-to-day living, be considered a necessary or useful article,
I see.
unless you had a bent that...
Well, suppose I change. We're getting nowhere.
Yes, that's
Well, I'm getting nowhere, let me put it that way.
nowhere.
Is it a manufactured article,
Yes.
Miss Bronkema? Is it a profit-making firm that you work for?
Yes.
You have something to do, do you have something to do with the manufacture of this article?
Yes.
Yes. It's this twilight product in the semi-useful, not quite decorative stage. Is it a nationally known product?
Yes.
Is it something that you think, say, that Miss Emerson and Miss Francis might be pleased to own?
Yes.
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 Yes. Is it possible that Miss Emerson would like to take over from here?
Mr. Gabel passes. Miss Emerson.
Is it connected with any indoor or outdoor sport?
Yes.
Ah, then it would be more likely to be found perhaps outside the home.
No.
That's very good, Miss Emerson. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Yes, now wait, I'm a host. May we rule out, Miss Bronkman, any recent fad in this, when we're talking about this sport? Can we rule out hoop rolling?
Yes.
Because we've had 2 of them. I wouldn't think you'd be certain. Would this thing be used in what might be called a game?
Yes.
Would the game be played by people who were seated?
Yes.
See?
Would it be a card game?
No.
Now, wait a minute. I'll have to have a small conference here.
You may, John.
Backgammon, cards?
This is a difficult area. I would not, and Miss Bronkema would join me, we would not rule out the possibility that this product which we're discussing might be used in conjunction with playing cards. So you can
But
continue.
it is not cards. The answer is not cards, correct?
That's
No.
right. Mhm.
Is it an accessory that might be, you say that might be used in a card game?
We don't
And it's
rule
solid.
out the fact that this product might be used in conjunction with a card game.
It would be used in an honest game as well as a dishonest game, would it not?
Well, we certainly hope so.
I mean, wouldn't be brass knuckles or anything like that. Would this be used if there was gambling going on in connection with the game?
It could be.
Would it be more useful in a gambling game than in just a friendly little game between husbands and wives where they just cut each other's throats with...
Yes, it could be. Mhm.
Is it used in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Does it change hands, this product, in the course of the game?
Yes.
Well, are there something to do with the chips?
Chips?
Yes, no.
That makes it 6 down and 4 to go.
Does it have something to do with a square object that you can hold in your hand,
Yes.
4-sided, and you'd sometimes like to see a 7 come up, and sometimes you wouldn't? Do you have something to do with dice?
Yes.
You do? How
Yes.
gay for you. Now, I have to decide what you do with the dice,
Mhm.
She dots the...
I? You have something to do with the manufacture of it, Martin already decided. Got a yes answer on. So that you have something to do in the manufacturing of dice.
That's right.
How far do I have to go with that, John?
You have to find out what it is that...
She does in the
Miss
manufacturing of
Bronkema
dice?
does, yeah.
Do you put the dots on it?
Yes!
I have very often had some dice that I wish you had been there to put the dots on.
Well, the H.E. Mason Company in Chicago makes them in all colors and sizes, and Miss Bronkema sits in, paints the dots in on the dice. What a wonderful way
Oh, if one could only learn how to make an 8 the hard way.
with no paintbrush. Miss Bronkema, thank you very much. It was nice to have you with us, and we nearly stopped the time. Very good, panel. We thought we'd catch you all together with that one. In fact, I think I probably should have cut you off about 2 minutes ago, and then we would have. Let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Les? Downing? That's a fine hand you have there, Mr. Downing, if I may say so. Where are you from, sir?
Hammond, Indiana.
Hammond, Indiana. Mr. Downing, the panel, Mr. Downing, and you have some friends in the audience. You say hello to them. Do you know how we keep score, Mr. Downing?
Yes, I do.
All right, then let's let the folks at home and our friends here in the audience know exactly what your line is. All right, panel. Mr. Downing is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning, this time with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Downing, do you use your hands in your work?
Yes, I do.
Would you say, and this is no reflection on you in any way, but would you say it's more a question of brawn than brain in the job that you carry on?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is it possible that you work for a non-profit-making organization, Mr. Downing?
That's right.
Do you work for a governmental organization?
Yes.
Is it federal rather than state?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Emerson.
It's all right. We narrowed them down a bit.
Yes, we did. Thank you. Is this organization in any way connected with a correction or
Yes, it is.
law enforcement? Do you work in or around or for a prison?
No, I don't.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Downing, I had an unfortunate adventure in Hammond recently.
Oh, no.
When somebody was driving me from Chicago to Valparaiso, and an airplane spotted us going too quickly, and we were stopped by a number of gentlemen on the state highway. Would you have any connection with an episode of that sort?
I'm afraid so.
Dirty trick. They have airplanes going above the road.
I'm going to flip all the cards because I promised Officer Downing that when you found out he was here, you'd say, it's a dirty trick. They got it wrong. Officer Downing is the flying policeman who was up in the airplane that saw your colleagues who were taking you to Valparaiso go a little bit too fast
Now,
between
how can
two
you
white
tell
lines.
in an airplane that we were going 73 miles an hour?
Bennett, Cerf.
Huh?
Did you admit to that?
I wasn't driving. I was being taken by somebody from the Curtis Publishing Company.
Well, there we lost 2 or 3 magazine publishers.
Mr. Downing, I'd like to know how you can tell the exact speed of a car when you're in an airplane up in the air.
Bennett,
I'm
you
very
think you want to
curious.
vent your bitterness here?
No, I'm just curious.
About a quarter of a mile before you were stopped, did you notice the 2 white lines painted
No,
across the
sir.
highway?
We were listening to the World Series.
Well, that's the way it's done. We time you between 2 white lines that are 1/8 of a mile apart, and then mathematically you figure out the speed you're going.
While you're flying?
Yes, uh-huh.
Not
And
safe
you
to
thought it was
speed
more
anymore.
Actually, Bennett, you put your finger on it. It's not safe to speed anymore. This is another way they have found to at least an alert police department has found, to try to cut down the incidence of high speed on highways. And the National Safety Council, I believe, has taken a good look at this method, which is to fly a plane and mark a distance and have a chronometer in the plane and knock it off to try and cut down the high speeds on highways and cut down the loss of life.
Are you dearly loved in Hammond, Indiana?
Sure, they pay all the taxes that way. They had about 8 cars lined up that day.
Bennett is now looking for company. Misery always loves company. Thank you very much, Officer Downing. It's nice to have you with us. And you back. Good to see you. Bennett just got a ticket for speeding. I don't know what kind. And now we'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends on the panel are blindfolded. Blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You will ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise. And we'll begin it all with Faye Emerson.
That very warm reception, I suspect, sir or madam, as the case may be, that you're in show business, are you?
Yes, I've known to be in show business on occasion, you know.
Mr. Cerf?
Sure, I think.
Is your business connected in any way with the motion picture industry?
Well, I'd say that I've been in a few pictures, yes.
Miss Francis?
Are you a leading man rather than a character actor?
I'd say yes again. I really would, yes.
Mr. Gabel?
Have you a picture opening within the next week or two in New York?
No, I'm afraid I haven't. No, I wish I had.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Emerson.
Do you sing or dance? Cover a broader field.
Yes, I do.
Mr. Cerf?
Have you got a beautiful wife who also dances professionally?
No, I don't. No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Faye asked whether you sing or dance. Do you do one more than the other?
Yes, I do one better than the other, I would say.
Mr. Gabel?
Are you by any chance now directing a play?
No, I'm not.
Miss Emerson? That's 3 down and 7 to go.
Are you connected with the play? Are you working in the theater at the present?
No, not right at the present time, I'm not, no.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Is it singing that you're better known for than dancing?
Yes, I'd say singing was my forte, yes.
Miss Francis?
Are you at the present time appearing in a nightclub?
No, not at the present time.
Are things really tough for you?
Martin, I have to get something in here. 5 down and 5 to go.
Sorry.
Now, Martin.
You
Martin, no, Martin, you go ahead, because
Thank
that was not counted as a question.
Do you appear in nightclubs more often than you do either in the movies or the legitimate stage?
I would say lately, yes.
Miss Emerson?
Except that he's not working lately.
Do you make records? I mean, could I buy a record album of yours?
I wish you would. Yes, I do.
Mr. Cerf?
Are you going to appear in a New York nightclub or hotel within the next few weeks?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am, yes.
Is the club that you're going to appear in the Copacabana?
I beg your pardon?
I say, is the club you're going to appear in the Copacabana? Am I not saying it right?
No, Nat King Cole is going to be at the Copacabana.
That makes it 6 down and 4 to go, Mr.
Not
Gabel.
Nat King Cole. That's we know.
Did I understand you to say that you did not have a wife who danced?
Yes.
Professionally, yes.
Yes.
That was a point of information, Martin. You may
I see.
continue.
Yes, I beg your pardon. I may carry on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have a beautiful wife.
Of course you do. So have I.
No.
Well, for that matter, so have I. Bennett has too.
Clear that up.
Well, now that we've got that out of the way...
None of it could die.
Have I ever had the pleasure of meeting you, sir?
It was my pleasure, sir, yes.
Hey, when you two fellas get through cutting up Southern touches here, Miss Emerson?
It's supposed to be English.
But you're not English, are you?
No, I'm not.
Yes, our guest is not English, no. Mr. Cerf?
Is the club that you're going to be appearing in the Broadway sector?
No, sir.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
It's not in the Broadway sector. Are there other clubs?
Well, the one in Brooklyn.
One way over in Brooklyn.
Oh, yes, that big one. Are you going to appear at that large club in Brooklyn?
No, ma'am. No.
8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Nowhere.
Well.
This place I'm going to work is going to be awful sore if they don't get
It's not that in New York...
Were you on television tonight before this appearance?
No, sir.
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Emerson.
Oh, don't leave it up to me.
10 down and no more to go. It's the Waldorf Astoria and Gordon...
That's the New York sector.
Gordon MacRae.
Gordon MacRae, that's right. It's not the Broadway sector. This was a great surprise for me, Gordon, because tomorrow night with Joe Stafford and Paul Weston, we'll be back together again on another network.
Yes, we shall.
And we'll have
I'd like
fun.
to say that Mr. Gordon MacRae is one of the most gifted, one of the most talented men that I've known in my many years on the gay white wave. I'm ashamed not to...
And actually, to be completely fair, we didn't mislead you. Gordon is going to open in the Waldorf on Thursday next. So when we said he wasn't appearing now, we were absolutely correct in every possible detail. So there.
You have been in lots of big movies.
That he has.
Yes.
That he has.
And plays like Oklahoma.
and Oklahoma. Thank you very much.
Good night,
We
Charles.
stuck
See you
them and it
tomorrow.
was fun.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow in the Fire Club. Bye-bye. We'll be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. I'll have to do the good nights tonight, and I have two things I want to say. Dorothy, Miss Kilgallen, please get well soon. And
Here, here.
Arlene Francis and Martin Gabel, good luck on Tuesday night at the opening of Once More with Feeling. And thanks to all of you for being with us on What's My Line?
Transportation for contestants on What's My Line is arranged by United Airlines. This has been a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Good.